I'm going on a bit of a short road trip and kind of a movie hunt with my mom to Maine, and right now we're going to Connecticut to go to the archive. While I'm at the archive, I'm going to be looking for a few things for some friends of mine. It is unlikely, but I'm excited to look. I'll be looking for a few things for my one friend, Conner D.J, The Tenant, and these are all like the special limited editions, and I think they're all on 4K. The Tenant, Roman Polanski film. The Keep, the Michael Mann film, the early in his career Michael Mann film, and two more things. I don't know why I said it like that, but Hundreds of Beavers and Southern Comfort. In terms of those things, I think Southern Comfort might be the thing I'll most likely find. It's possible I might see some of the other things. It's possible I might see The Tenant. My friend DJ, who does the channel Films by Color, he asked for The Keep also. If I find, and I said this to DJ, I haven't said this to Connor, but I don't think I'm going to find any copies of The Keep at all. But if I do find one copy of The Keep and like a copy of The Tenant, or The Tenant and Southern Comfort, or just Southern Comfort, I'll just get that, and then I'll get The Keep for DJ is sort of my idea going in. But we'll see what they have. I'm excited to get a look at some of the newer releases. I'm going to point out a movie that is got released by Saturn's Core Audio and Video. That's the New Jersey-based partner label. They do like a lot of weird stuff, and this movie is weird. But the person who directed a documentary on one of the members of Wilco, who is kind of maybe one of my favorite members of the band in the band's history, Jay Bennett. The documentary is called Where Are You, Jay Bennett? I backed that documentary on Kickstarter. I pledged. So I have like a little thanks in like the credits amongst a bunch of other Wilco fans and Jay Bennett fans. But that person, Gorman Bakker, I don't know how to say his name. It's like a very French name, but he made this film. He made other films besides documentaries, but he made this film in like, I think it's 2004, called You Are Alone, that is filmed in Connecticut. I think it was called like A Last Tango in Paris, but in Connecticut. It looked the images I saw from the film kind of looked quite dark, but it seemed like one of the bigger releases for Saturn's Core, and especially for like this month's of partner label releases for Vinegar Syndrome, who of course the archive is an affiliated store for. I'm not going to pick up the two they actually already have the two new cinematograph releases, including the Jonathan Demme Swimming to Cambodia and I think it's Jim McBride. I'm not sure who the director is fully, but I think that's the director of the 1983 American remake of Breathless. They already have both of those in the store. But I ordered them online, and I didn't really need to do it with Breathless because I was pretty sure it'd be in the store. but it is what it is. And with Swimming to Cambodia, there was a release with a book, and that sold out pretty quickly. And I just love when they do that extra, like, here's a, like, they had a parachuter release with the one film Drop Zone that had cinematograph on the, and also a book on directing. So I got, and that sold out like, but
Hey Dylan. You don't like the old one?
Just get the set, Scott. They have a set of this.
Brand new, so it's.
so this will be a sort of quick recap run through of what I got at the archive, and then at two bull moose locations, one located in New Hampshire and one located in, actually wait, yeah, they were both in, no, the thing I first said, I'm just going to cut that. Okay, so I mentioned I was looking for things for my friends DJ and Connor at the archive, and I did find one thing that each of them would be interested in. The really nice limited box, I'm not sure what you would call this, but this really fun, inventive kind of like case for a movie that probably isn't all that fun, or at least by a guy who I don't like. Not that that matters. The Tenant by Roman Polanski. It's a great thick release, which Vinegar Syndrome and their affiliates, but like this Vinegar Syndrome Central with, not that this is a core Vinegar Syndrome product, but especially with their line, the VSU line, they've put out some really great and inventive boxes for their releases. So this is going to go towards Connor. Very excited to send that your way. Next up, this is a film that I think DJ already owns, but this is a Film Movement Classic release, Film Movement Classics release of an Eric Romer film, The Marquis of O, and I would probably say, it probably looks great, but just, this is a really, I really love the art on the slipcover, and then you have the film itself. I've been a big fan of all the Film Movement Classics releases that I've picked up. Big fan especially of this Ferocious, I think that's what it's the Ferocious Fukasaku, and it's two films, Wolves, Pigs, and Men, paired with Violent Panic, The Big Crash, and there's sort of two, one from earlier in Kenji Fukasaku's career making sort of true life Yakuza movies, and one is from later when he started to kind of go away from that, and both are very well made, and it's rather thrilling Japanese crime pictures. But here's what I picked up at the archive. I've been a big fan, although since they've been releasing things on their own. I haven't really gotten any of them, but I do still admire and want to pick up. I think it's Falling in Love, the Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro movie they just recently released. But Fun City Editions used to be a partner label with Vinegar Syndrome, and this is one of the films that I've been really wanting to get the slipcover edition of, and I found it, and I believe it was a sort of a used bin that they have of really, they do great stuff where they'll put out some used product, but it's like really, they have some, the archive has some really, really awesome boutique used things that you can find pretty consistently. This, I found Rancho Deluxe, Jeff Bridges, Harry Dean Stanton's in it too, but just an amazing little, I think Jeff Bridges actually brought this up. I'm forgetting who was in an interview with, but I'm pretty sure in a relatively recent round of interviews he was doing, podcast, Jeff Bridges was on, this movie got brought up, and it really reignited my interest in watching it. So hopefully I'm going to in the nearby future. Yeah, and this is directed by Frank Perry. I knew I was forgetting something. Who directed The Swimmer, which was notably mostly filmed in Connecticut, mostly in and around Fairfield, Connecticut. This was not filmed in Connecticut. It's sort of it's a Western. I briefly read the back. There were some implications of Jeff Bridges playing a stoner in this, another stoner, besides the Big Lebowski, so that deeply excites me. So yeah, Rancho Deluxe. Next up, we have a Gorman Beckard or Bechard movie. I apologize immensely. You Are Alone. This is from Saturn's Core Audio and Video. This is a current partner label of Vinegar Syndrome, and this seemed to be a pretty big release for them, and I really love this style of slipcover, slipcase, and then here's the cover of the movie. It's early 2000s. I think anyway. It's a movie I really know nothing about. There's a quote about how critics have lauded it as a Last Tango in New Haven. So sort of like I really don't know what that means exactly. But this filmmaker is actually, he directed a documentary called Where Are You, Jay Bennett? Which I actually helped in a very small way fund on, I think it was Kickstarter, whatever it is. And I have a small, with hundreds of others, have a small thanks at the end of that movie. And that is a documentary on one of the more interesting members in the history of the band Wilco, multi-instrumentalist Jay Bennett. Yeah, I don't believe, I either haven't watched it or I really need to rewatch it because I haven't really remembered it, but I am very happy that a documentary exists focusing on Jay Bennett, because I think he kind of gets mischaracterized based on some things that are in the I Am Trying to Break Your Heart documentary and just some other stuff, but I am happy that exists, and I'm also more ecstatic that I've picked up a feature film outside of documentary work from that director, so I'm definitely looking forward to give this a watch. And Saturn's Core Audio and Video is a New Jersey-based group. I love to see that they put out a lot of really, really intensely strange and fascinating things. And this is the first thing that I've picked up from them. It might be one of the most, pardon my French, but most normie things they've put out. Next up we have two Dr. Mabuse related things. I own the silent Fritz Lang movie, and I saw at the store a steelbook, both of the silent Fritz Lang movie, but then also the sound, not version, but the sound Dr. Mabuse film that Fritz Lang made in 1933, Das Testament des Dr. Mabuse. The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. I'm so sorry. But this just has a really great, I'm not really big into steelbooks, but it just has such a striking, like with the faces and I love it. So I saw this, and previously I had seen at the archive during this trip this Dr. Mabuse Live set, which is the one of the last, if not the last, films that Fritz Lang made. The Thousand Eyes of Dr. Mabuse from... Yeah, no, this is Fritz Lang's final film. So I just reread this. It's sort of like a relaunch, continuation of Dr. Mabuse, but then several other filmmakers continued to make Mabuse films from 1960 to 1964, and this is 6 of them, the first one being the final Fritz Lang movie, which is very exciting to me now that to have all of Fritz Lang's Dr. Mabuse work. Fritz Lang, when he does like really longer form stuff and you just like sit in the world, Die Neblugen, those two films, like that's just, it can get, he's a really engrossing, something that is not Fritz Lang. Dead hookers.
So many dead fuckers.
I'll see myself out. This is, I don't know why I got this. This is Dirty Work from 1997, starring Norm Macdonald, written by Norm Macdonald. I don't know if Norm Macdonald directed this, but this is... See, there's Norm Macdonald. Directed by Bob Saget. Well, so following that, actually, there's one other thing. In a case, which I got some video of, it was brought to my attention that there was the box release of Naked Lunch, David Cronenberg's 1991 adaptation of the seminal literary work by William S. Burroughs, a foundational piece of the... I really love this movie, and I really love the book, and I had previously owned the Arrow Video 4K, but just the standard, which is what's just the disc in here. But this is it's such an important like work to me that I've really been trying to find a box release of it, and it has a really thick booklet in here. I haven't opened this yet, but I am thrilled to have this in my collection. And following that, I stopped at 2 different Bull Moose locations and was able to pick up some pretty interesting things, but having kind of gone a little too ham at the archive, I was a bit more restrained. And the great thing about Bull Moose locations, pretty much all of them right now, or at least the 2 that I went to, both of them had a great selection of VHS tapes, and just some fascinating movies there.
She would like the girl.
You don't know that. Who doesn't love Data? I picked up a few. One, I've already seen this movie. I've actually seen all of these movies, but this is like the most disappointing one because it is Call It Murder, starring Humphrey Bogart. It is a Chester Erskine directed movie. It is also known as Midnight. How do I say? This image of Humphrey Bogart with this gun is cooler than the entire movie, basically. Following that, I picked up 2 VHS tapes of RKO film. One wasn't released by RKO, but it is, I'll get to it. John Ford's Fort Apache, and you even have the RKO collection at the bottom. Fonda, Shirley Temple, Argosy production, distributed by RKO, if I'm remembering that correctly. It's one of those that John Ford put out. And then following that, we have Howard Hughes's Jet Pilot, and this is a movie out of date. The weird thing is, people insist that he actually was really proud of both of those movies, but maybe. But following that, I picked up another Kenji Fukasaku movie. If you know me, I've been getting heavily into the films of Kenji Fukasaku. I've been for a while now doing weekly watches of Fukasaku movies with something I call Fukasaku Fridays. And it's been fascinating. Very exciting filmmaker. Really excited to see this relatively earlier film. I believe it came out the same year, or at least around the same time as Wolves, Pigs, and Men. 1964. So these films came out in the same year. Jacoman and Tetsu is what I picked up, and this is a release from 88 Films. It has a similar, I think this is a J card, I'm forgetting, similar kind of like banner side thing to to Radiance Films releases. So, and I think Radiance Films is also, anyway, excited to have another Fukasaku feature. Then, wrapping things up, Jesus. I'm a big fan of Harold Lloyd silent comedies. A while ago, on my friend DJ's channel, he was doing a podcast series called The Criterion Corner with my other friend Connor, both previously mentioned in the start of the video, or start of At some point in the past, some time ago, some years ago, during an episode of the Criterion Corner, it might have even been the last episode, but Conner and DJ did a video podcast discussing The Freshman, this Harold Lloyd movie, which is sort of like one of the big films by Harold Lloyd that I don't think I've watched, and now I'm happy to have picked up the Criterion edition of it. It's a film that's been in the collection for a bit, in that this is a dual Blu-ray and DVD release, but I just think it looks great. And then following that, 2 4Ks. One from Kino Lorber, Studio Classics, John Wayne's 1963 film, Donovan's Reef, John Ford's, did I just say John Wayne's? John Ford's Donovan's Reef, starring John Wayne. And lastly, an Elmore Leonard adaptation to end all Elmore Leonard adaptations. There are probably better Elmore Leonard adaptations, although once I rewatch this, I might find it holds up or stands up better to Mr. Majestic, which is probably currently my favorite which is probably my current favorite Elmore Leonard film project, because I don't think that was explicitly an adaptation. I think he might have just written that. I could be wrong though. Which is partially why I like it, because he has more of, like, he did the script out. Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. Essential. It's a really great Elmore Leonard adaptation. It stands up there in terms of presenting Elmore Leonard's work with the best of those adaptations, like Out of Sight. But this is sort of, wow. There had been Get Shorty, but this kind of just, Get Shorty is like cool, but this is really, really good. This is great. Yeah, it takes Rum Punch, the Elmore Leonard novel, and makes it its own. It's a fun movie. It's so good, it even makes Life of Crime better just by its existence.